I am going to demonstrate how to make large triangle braids on the edge of a rug. So this is an example of a large triangle braid. I haven't finished the last working end, which I will demonstrate after I've shown you how to make a large triangle braid. So you want to work with an odd number of threads in your group. So I have divided the fringe up into 4 groups of 9 threads. Before I get started, to protect my last weft pick, I'm going to link the outer threads of the different groups. So I'm going to, working left to right, I'm going to take the outer thread in this leftmost group and link it up with the outer thread of its neighboring group. So it's going to do a half hitch. The left thread is going to go over, under, up, and through the loop, and then it's going to return back to its original group. And then working my way across, I'm going to take the outer thread of this group and have it link up with the outer thread of the neighboring group in the same manner and have it return to the original group. So I'm going to get these other 2 groups out of the way. I'm going to work with this second group in. I'm going to hold divide my 9 threads so that I have 4 on the right, 4 on the left, and 1 in the middle. Working the group on the right, I'm going to take the outermost thread and it's going to make half hitches over these 3 threads individually, and then over the center thread, and then it's going to come down and join the center thread. So taking the outer thread, again, it's going to make half hitches, which are tightened to the fell, and I'm going to drop the thread it just made the half hitch over. It's going to make a half hitch over the next thread, tighten to the fell, and I'm going to drop the thread it wrapped around, and then the third thread. I'm going to drop that thread, and now it's going to make a half hitch over the center thread and come down to join the center thread. Now I'm going to work the left group in a similar manner. I'm going to take the outer thread, it's going to make half hitches over these 3 threads individually, then over the 2 center threads and come down to join the center. So I go over, under, up through the loop, tighten to the fell, drop the thread that I wrapped around. Now it's going to wrap around the next one. Now I have 3 threads in the center, and I'm going to work the right side again, taking the outer thread, and it's going to wrap around the other 2 threads one at a time. I'm going to find my center 3 threads. It's going to wrap around the whole bundle, and I'm going to slide the wrap just below the previous one. It's going to come down and join the center. And I'm going to work the left side. Again, doing half hitches over the 2 threads that are there, one at a time. And the thread that's doing the wrapping, the half hitches, is going to wrap around the center, slide up below the previous half hitch, and then join the center threads. So I still have 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and I have 4 in the center. I'm sorry, I have 5 in the center. Should have an odd number, that's great. So I have the 2 pair that are left on the left. The outermost one is going to do the wrapping again, or the half hitch, and then it's going to come down and wrap the center, slide up below the previous one, and join it. Then I'm going to work the left side, and then it's going to wrap around the center threads, Now I have one on each side. It's going to wrap the center. And I'm going to put a little knot on the bottom of that thread to know that it was the last one that worked from the right. So here's the little knot. I'm going to take the leftmost one. It's going to wrap over the center group. I'm going to put a little knot at the end of this one as well. The reason I like to be able to identify the outermost one is I haven't determined how I'm going to finish the fringe here coming off my triangle. Sometimes what I like to do is alternating those outer two threads, I'll continue to do half hitches over the entire group, bringing the one on the left in, and I'll keep track of how many extra hitches I do. So I'll slide that up, bring it down to join. I know that this was the leftmost one because it has the knot, and it'll wrap around the entire group, including the other one that is still actively wrapping. And I might just work back and forth until I get the length that I like. I could also do other types of fringe techniques coming off the base of the triangle, the tip of the triangle, I should say. There we go. And I could just keep working back and forth. When I am done, you'll notice the last one that worked doesn't want to rest with the others, that it wants to go off to the side. And the way that I like to bring this in is, I'm going to demonstrate it on this one here. Come in a little bit. If I flip to the other side, this horizontal float resulted from this last warp thread making a half hitch. I'm going to open that up a little bit, and I'll put a looped piece of wire up through there so it's headed toward in the direction of the cloth. I will thread my last warp thread down through there and draw it underneath itself. And I have that knot I have to contend with. There we go. And I'll tighten up and then tighten up again. So now it's joined its friends and it looks pretty decent on the back. And I could finish this one in the same way. The leftmost one did the last wrapping. I'm going to open up that horizontal float. And my weft is pretty thick, so I can really just feed it down through. Tighten. There we go. I can also finish these large triangle braids with twisted fringe, some flat braids or round braid. But this is how you make those large triangle braids.